I'm going to open it up and set it free. There's our mouse. Come on out of there. Look at this beauty. This is such a rare and valuable antique mousetrap, and today we're going to catch a bunch of mice in the barn with it. This is what's known as the anti-cat. It's written on top and it has a patent date of June 10th, 1879. It was invented by a man named Warren MacArthur of Chicago, and if you look at the patent drawings inside, the mechanism for catching the mouse is pretty complex. And I'm really excited to see how many mice we can catch with this trap. It consists of two chambers, the front with the trap mechanism, this door is on a hinge, and this back holding chamber. We'll fold this open, you can see the holes for breathing, and that way the mouse will try to escape through here. It will go through this one-way door with a wire that folds up, and as they go in there, it closes, and they can't get back out. How many mice do you think will fit in here? Not very many. Maybe 2 or 3, but that's a tight squeeze. But my favorite thing about this mousetrap is the mechanism for catching mice. We'll fold open the top. You can see this door in front. If it's closed, it's on a flap so the mouse can push that open and go inside. But to set it, you push it all the way over, and when you do, it lifts the pedal right in front of the bait station. In the station, you can place peanut butter, seeds, or cheese. The mouse will enter, and when it steps on that, it closes. Now this flap is a one-way, so it can't push it from the inside. Instead, it has to enter this back chamber with that wire one-way door, and when it does, it steps on this pedal. It's all connected, and it resets. That way, the next mouse can enter, try to get the bait, step on it. Then it joins its mouse friends in the back until the trap gets too crowded. Now before I set up the anti-cat mousetrap in the barn and start catching mice with it, I first want to talk about value. It's actually really crazy to test out this mousetrap because they're so rare and valuable and highly sought after by collectors, they're worth a ton of money. Now here I have a group of antique mousetraps that were in use in the early 1880s. If you look at a hardware store advertisement from the time period, you could order all these mousetraps by the dozen. Here we have the toy wheel. You catch them with a spring-loaded door, then the mouse can run and get exercise. This one's a very famous mousetrap called the Delusion. It's about the same size as the anti-cat. Here's one called the Catch 'em Alive and a choker. But originally the price for an anti-cat was $2.75 per dozen. That works out to about 23 cents per trap back then. But the price has gone up quite a bit since the 1880s. Currently, if you want to find an anti-cat mousetrap in working condition, it's going to cost you almost $3,000. That's a lot of money for a trap to place out in the barn, but we're going to do it. First, we're going to test it out with our pet mice, and then we're going to set up the motion cameras and try to catch a bunch of wild mice. Okay, pet mouse, you're probably the first mouse in over 100 years to be caught with the anti-cat mousetrap. Go through the front door. Oh, the door closed very quickly, but it doesn't slam shut. It can pull his tail in. Let's flip this over and watch him come through the back. And now it's caught in the back holding chamber. This trap looks like it's going to work well, but we're going to test it out in the barn on wild mice. Let's go set up the motion cameras and see what happens. Now this is a good spot to set up our trap. There's a lot of mice, but I do have one concern, and that is this door opens very easily, and if we do catch mice, it might be able to lift it up and escape. So I'm going to weight it down with a piece of wood, and then we can see if the mice go in there and get caught. Let's set up the motion cameras and see what happens. Well, last night we did catch a mouse with the anti-cat mousetrap, but we did have a few problems. First of all, when it went in the back chamber, it didn't reset the door, it was closed, so we only caught one mouse. Also, that mouse was able to lift up from the inside, knock off the wood, and escape. So I'm going to have to make some changes, and we're going to try it again. I'm going to use magnets instead of weights. We'll put this in back. These are rare earth magnets that are very powerful, and there's no way a mouse is going to lift those up. Then I can check it by taking them off. I think this is going to work, but we're going to test it out again. Let's go set up the motion cameras for a second time and see if we can catch some mice. Well, those magnets work extremely well. Last night we caught a mouse with the anti-cat mousetrap. It's trying to escape, sticking its nose out the bars. It wanted the bait, went inside, the door closed, it squeezed in this back chamber, and all night long it's trying to figure out how to get out. It can't lift up the lid this time. What we caught is a non-native invasive species called a house mouse. It's not part of the natural ecosystem, so I can't let it go. Instead, I'm going to humanely dispatch it and feed it to wild animals. So make sure you stay tuned to the end of the video to see what enjoys this mouse snack. But I'm going to set up this trap again at a different location. In that location, they have native deer mice. So let's go set up the motion cameras for a third night and see if we can catch more mice with the anti-cat mouse trap. Well, these magnets are working very well. Last night we caught another mouse with our anti-cat mouse trap, except this time the door got stuck, so we only caught one mouse. It went in the back chamber. If you turn this around, you can see it peeking out through the bars. Now what we caught is a native species of mouse called a deer mouse. Because it's part of the natural ecosystem, instead of killing it, I'm going to open it up and set it free. There's our mouse. Come on out of there. Well, it was fun catching mice with the mousetrap from 1879. For its age, the anti-cat worked well. I really like the door that opens and shuts, but this lid here needs to latch better. With the magnets, it worked well, but without them, the mice can lift it out and escape. Now, this mousetrap is so rare and valuable, I only know of a few examples that exist, and I'm glad to add it to my mousetrap collection. This one's getting retired and placing on the top shelf with all my best mousetraps. Now I'm going to end the video by showing you what wild animals came to the beaver dam and enjoyed the mouse we caught with this very rare antique mousetrap. Thank you so much for watching.